Tell us a little bit more about Bike Portland.
Well, it's a blog that's been around since 2005, and it's basically like covering the bike scene in Portland and beyond sometimes. So I kind of see it just as like a daily newspaper, except it's a blog and it's only about one topic.
Well, obviously it's a great day out. It was warm enough for us to be sitting on the patio. It's a nice ride over here. And we're curious to see a little bit more about what other outfits you might be wearing on colder, rainier days. And I know you brought some stuff with you.
Yep.
So why don't we go do a little fashion shoot, see some more about what you'd wear on other days.
Sounds cool. Yeah, let's do it.
Let's go.
Jonathan, that was amazing. I'm incredibly impressed. I was thinking that you would have maybe like an outfit to show us, but you showed us how many outfits in the end?
4 outfits, lots of different options for different weather.
Gotta have it if you're gonna survive in the winter. It's a must. You know, additionally challenging for me is that I live in North Portland, so I actually have to go up a hill every day, and when it's cold or wet, that's actually something that really takes a lot of consideration, because on the way into work it's super cold, and on the way up you're going to sweat a little bit, so that's something you have to figure out. And I've just learned by doing. I mean, if I dress too warm, I'm going to just be soaking wet with sweat, you know, so it's a matter of finding stuff that's thin enough yet you can wear enough layers. It's really like dialing in the layers, and I think people make it out to be a lot worse than it is. I ride every single day through the winter, and I swear maybe every year I get soaking wet maybe twice. Right, and I think that's what most people are afraid of, is being soaking wet, because that's going to be embarrassing. You can't go to meet, you know. And in terms of cold, it's like if you just act like you're going up to Mount Hood for the day and put on your mittens and a scarf, you're going to survive, because, you know, biking kind of keeps you warm. That's another thing people may not realize. I think if they're thinking just like coasting in front of their house for a second, yeah, it's going to be really nippy, like right with that wind chill. But once you get going, you actually heat up. So I think the big thing about riding in the winters, it's really not that bad.
Well, I think that's really interesting, because I think a lot of people feel like when they go out biking they need to have one outfit that's incredibly versatile, whereas you kind of blew my mind. You carry an extra pair of pants around. Like that's a big deal. You always have an extra pair of jeans with you, right? Like not everybody has that commitment.
And so you have a family, you've got kids and a wife. Do you guys bike together? Do you go out and do much as a family on bikes?
Yeah, definitely. And you know, with having kids, adds a whole nother, especially in wintertime, it adds a whole nother layer of sort of complexity.
So what of the things that you showed us would you say are bike gear or like bike clothing?
Well, I know that's a tricky one, because in terms of whether it's bike gear or not, I hate for people to think you need like bike specific stuff, but at the same time, like someone like me who's like committed to being on the bike, and it has to be functional, because like I'm doing stuff and I'm working on my bike and off my bike, and I have this commute that's like up a hill, so it has to work. Like the stuff that I have that's bike specific, it's like a jacket like this that has a little bit more reflectivity that you can add on, or like the jeans that have stretch. So it doesn't sound like maybe a big deal, but like getting on and off the bike, it's so much easier when you can just have that nice stretch, or even just moving around. I wear like this little wool base layer, like tights, you know, basically. That word tights is such a hard word for a man to say.
Yeah.
But, you know, I don't know what else you call them. Long john. That's much better. Base layer. That's so technical, though. No, I have those on, like, literally from, like I said, like October to May. I just don't take them off. And they're also kind of a nice layer against rain. So if rain does pelt my jeans, it's not like my skin ever gets really wet. Like, my general principle, like you were saying before, is like I don't want to look like a biker. I don't want to look like I ride my bike, ever. So I want to blend in immediately as not being on a bike, so I can start from that level with whoever I'm talking to, so they don't instantly see me and have all those judgments that might occur if they know I just showed up on a bike. You know, this way, the way I look is always like, you you won't know that I just hopped off my bike. People really tend to overdress, I notice, which is, I think, a classic mistake. I mean, it's like the last couple of weeks, it hasn't really been that bad, right? It hasn't been super wet. Rarely has it been even raining at all. It's been like mist. But every single day you see people like with, as if it's a torrential downpour. And I'm just like, you're in there sweating in your body. And that's so unfortunate because you don't have to be wearing that stuff. So, you know, the booties and like, so I try to like avoid wearing too much technical rainproof stuff when it's not necessary, you know.
So Jonathan, it's been great talking with you today. I loved hearing about how you, especially as a fella, stay warm and dry on your bike all year long, biking through the winter. So thanks for being here. Cheers.
Welcome. Thank
Cheers.
you. Cheers.